Hello, my name is Nadia Ortiz, and my presentation is on Manifest Destiny 1845. The primary source that I chose was titled Manifest Destiny by John L. O'Sullivan, a journalist. And this was an essay that he wrote in 1845 during the Texas annexation and the U.S. expansion. I found this source in module number 5 before the quiz in the required textbook titled Worlds Together, Worlds Apart, chapter 17 on page 633 under the primary source titled Manifest Destiny. I did some research to find the current location of this primary source by looking at the school Rio Hondo's library database. I did some Google searches and looked through a few articles, but unfortunately I could not find the exact location of its physical copy, but I did go onto the chapter and I noticed underneath the primary source with a citation that it is located in the Core Documents Volume Westward Expansion book. And that's about all the information that I found on that. And now this is a short video on the background of Manifest Destiny.
Manifest Destiny was a 19th century belief in the United States that it was destined to expand its territory and spread its values across North America. Coined in 1845 by journalist John O'Sullivan, who argued that it was America's God-given mission to spread its influence and democratic ideals, Manifest Destiny was used to justify territorial expansion, particularly the annexation of Texas and the Mexican-American War. Fueled by a combination of economic, political, and religious motives, as well as a sense of American exceptionalism, Manifest Destiny played a major role in the settlement and development of the American West. Manifest Destiny also established a national justification for imperialism and the exploitation of Native American lands, which has had a profound impact on American history and continues to shape the country's cultural identity today.
Okay, so again, according to the video and the primary source, Manifest Destiny was a term used by John O'Sullivan in 1845 in the U.S. Magazine and Democratic Review as an essay. And this was because O'Sullivan was a first-hand account of the U.S. expansion at the time, and he also was an advocate for the Texas annexation. He was part of the Democratic Party and an influential American journalist. So he used his writing to justify that the U.S. was forming a westward expansion in order to gain economic opportunities, spread democracy, capitalism all across North American continent. This was because it was their divine right and it was destined by providence. So in the U.S. eyes, it was what God wanted them to do. The outcome of this expansion was that the justification led to more slavery, the annexation of Texas and other states, the removal of Native Americans and other groups from their homes, and caused tensions of issues of slavery between South and North America. And this evidently led to the Civil War. The significance of this source was that the term Manifest Destiny was read by the public at the time and caused an ideological impact that captured the prevailing nationalist and expansionist sentiment of the time. It also helped shape American policies and public opinions in the 19th century. So in a way, this source and term was used in understanding American history and ideology of the 19th century. The secondary source that I chose was titled Alternative West Rethinking Manifest Destiny. This was wrote by Andrew C. Eisenberg and Thomas Richards Jr. Both are professors of history at Temple University. It was published in 2017, so it's modern. And the significance of this source is that the article actually analyzes the manifest destiny from an alternative perspective, and it challenged the traditional historical narratives of 1845. It also provided new insights into American expansionism and its impacts. It gave a modern interpretation on the manifest destiny, and it gives a reader more of a critical and comprehensive understanding of the manifest destiny. The source also stated the significant and devastating impacts on Indigenous people from the U.S. expansion. The relevance of this source to the primary source is that the alternative was stated that the traditional narrative on the U.S. expansion was a positive mission that was an inevitable force, but the authors actually highlight the negative consequences of this expansion, just like the displacement and suffering of Indigenous populations, environmental degradation, and economic motivations behind the ideology. And in conclusion, the interpretation of manifest destiny has evolved, in my opinion, and according to my research of the secondary source. This was because Andrew and Thomas suggested in the secondary source a re-examination of the original document Manifest Destiny, because in their opinion, it had context of colonialism and imperialism, and I also agree with that. I think that the Manifest Destiny was silencing the perspectives of Native Americans, Mexicans, and other non-European communities that were affected by the expansion. So overall, the secondary source exposes how the marginalized groups were affected by Manifest Destiny, and the evolution changes the original positive implication of Manifest Destiny to a negative one by sharing the consequences of the ideology, and that would have prevented the experiences of non-European communities, such as the Civil War, the removal of Native Americans, and annexation of Texas and other states to the Union of the United States. That's about it. Thank you very much.